So I was a bit let down by Before I Wake. I went with big expectations. The director, Mike Flanagan, I've seen two others by him pretty recently that I thought were good. Ouija, Origin of Evil. This one's more conceptual, but I think Ouija, it's just a better traditional scary horror movie. And then Gerald's Game I saw recently, I think that's a much better abstract, conceptual, psychological horror, a thinking person's horror, if you will. And I think if you watch this, you see the signs of someone who has a lot of promise and a lot of potential as a horror director, but still needed a bit of time to iron a few things out in his process. So if I try to pin down what exactly I didn't like, without getting into spoiler territory, moths. First of all, moths are a very creepy animal, so I was surprised at how underwhelmed I was by how they actually handled the moths in this movie. I didn't find them that scary, but I will say, about a week after I watched the movie, I turned around and there was a moth in my room, and I did jump, so maybe the movie did a better job than I'm giving it credit for. And then I really didn't like the design of the monster. It just reminded me too much of a mummy, and to compare it to Insidious, there's no comparison. The recent new Insidious movie I watched, The Last Key, way better monster than that. I actually thought that the dead son, so early in the movie, you know the family that's adopted this kid, they had a dead son. We get some shots of him. He's just this classic, all-American looking boy, but certain things they did just made him very creepy and unsettling. I thought he was scarier than the monster. I don't know if that's a good thing. And there were some genuinely creepy moments that I remember. At one point, moth starts crawling out of someone's mouth. That was unsettling. There was a moment where someone's lovingly stroking someone's face while also gouging their face, and something about it just really stuck with me. And I thought the movie did a lot better job with these creepy, unsettling moments than with the actual jump scares. So this movie did have jump scares. I didn't really jump at any of them, and it's not because I'm a badass and don't jump at movies. The new Amityville movie, Amityville Awakening, I jumped at some of those jump scares. I'm not afraid to admit it. And I feel like it was hitting a lot of the right tropes for horror movies. Insomnia, sleeping medication, creepy drawings that children do, dreams. And I see what the movie was trying to go for, but in the end, it just fell flat for me. It just didn't come together. And I'll talk more when I get into spoilers at the very end. But bottom line is, if I read a Wikipedia summary for the plot, I would think I would really like this movie. If I read just someone summarizing what actually takes place and the twist and what they were going for, I would think that I would like it a lot. So I like the ambition. I like what they were trying to achieve, a more conceptual horror movie rather than simple jump scares. But for me, it just fell flat, and I can't explain exactly why, but I'll try a bit later. Okay, last thing I'll say before spoilers. I don't want to say it, but I have to. Jacob Tremblay, I've seen him in 3 things now. I've seen him in The Room, I've seen him in Wonder, and I've seen him in this. I just don't like him, especially in this role. Now, in The Room, I thought he was great because I thought he was very irritating and frustrating at times. He was exactly what someone who'd only grown up in a single room and had never been socialized would be like. They wouldn't be awesome and adorable and well-adjusted. They would be frustrating at times, and they would be irrational, and they'd be unreasonable. And he was able to communicate this, and the mom who was trapped in that room with him, and then afterwards she felt so, you could feel her frustration, and part of that was his performance. It was great. Then in Wonder, again, I didn't find him very likable. I found something about him just irritated me, the way he talked, and he wasn't this purely likable character. But I said, look, maybe that's what they were going for, and they were saying that these people with, different issues, he had a facial deformity in Wonder, they aren't saints, and they aren't these beloved characters. They're people just like us, and they're irritating at times and frustrating, but they're still awesome and inspirational. So I said, fine. But in this, he's not supposed to be a 3-dimensional, interesting character that we are vexed by and frustrated by, but also love. No, he's just supposed to be a sweet, cute kid that you like and feel bad for. He's not supposed to be giving this complex 3-dimensional performance. So if there's a movie where he's supposed to just play that role of just a sweet kid or someone who's nice or someone relatable, he just consistently frustrates me when I watch him. That may just be my own thing, and other people may love him. I know he gets a lot of roles, people like him, but that's just me. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about spoilers, and I'm going to spoil the end of the movie, so don't watch if you don't want it spoiled. The basic idea is that he is born with this amazing gift that whatever he dreams, he's able to create in reality while he's dreaming. So it's this great gift, but unfortunately he suffered this personal trauma that his mom got cancer, and that robbed him of his mom. What he did was he suppressed that, and it got jumbled in his subconscious that he thinks the Canker Man, which is kind of like cancer, took his mother. And it's interesting, his image of his mother, or his image of the monster, is actually just his mother when she's going through chemo and is bald and looks very scary to him. So it's a premise that I can't criticize the premise. I think it's a great premise. It's a really satisfying twist, and it's a great way to end the movie, but just something about it just wasn't working for me. And it did make for some interesting elements, so because his dreams can become a reality, they see their dead son again. But they only see him in this one shape, and you realize why, because he's the boy who's dreaming and creating this son becoming a reality from his dreams. He's only seen that one photograph that's on the mantle, so that's the only thing he can really create, is because he didn't know the boy, he just knows him from that photograph. So it's interesting, you keep seeing these shots and he always looks the same and he always has this weird expression on his face, and then you realize you saw the same expression on the mantle and that's why he always looks like that. And you get this nice message at the end that now that his adoptive mother has helped him have acceptance with his past and make peace with his mom's death, now he's not going to be haunted by these feelings anymore, and now his gift, rather than being used for evil, he's going to be able to use his gift for beauty. So it's a great message, and again, I can't criticize anything with the premise, just something about the way I think they executed it I just didn't like. So I was let down by this movie, and I'm not saying it's a bad movie. Again, I went in with high expectations. Had I gone in with lower expectations, I might have said, wow, that was surprisingly good. But I gotta give my honest opinion, I was a bit let down.